Welcome everyone. I am checking all technology right now. So give it a second. Yes, so I can see myself everywhere. Let's begin. So welcome everyone to today's laser-focused workshop, Inner Critic to Inner Coach. And I'm Evgenia, your success mindset coach who helps women entrepreneurs replace stress with confidence. And today's session is about shifting from self-doubt to self-wisdom. And I am so glad you're here today with me to explore how to take those negative voices in your head and turn them into helpful allies instead. And it's not a secret that starting a business turns our inner critics up high because we constantly make tough decisions and take risks. And it's not stop hustle. No wonder that voices in our heads gets intense. And it is not a secret that we all have critical voice inside our heads. The difference is just how it mess with us. And here are some examples. Well, you probably know your stuff inside out, but somehow still doubt if you will totally mess up, right? Or you have such a hard time saying no to tasks when overloaded and then you kick yourself later. Or you may constantly put off big decisions and after you hate yourself because you didn't commit. So if you feel super thin right now, this workshop is for you. And because here is the raw truth, we all beat ourselves up mentally at times. But for some of us, that harsh inner voice of criticism feels way more relentless and persuasive. Am I right? And that causes mad doubts, anxiety, delays, self-punishment, distraction, underconfidence, decisionless, you name it. And that's not cool. When I create something new to my clients, my inner critic often questions if I'm a truly an expert. And this hurts my confidence. I notice my critic attack my business abilities and value. And the core worry is, will my offer actually attract my ideal customers? But I remind myself that my worth and potential positive impact is not defined by validation or applause from others. So when I catch my inner critic and that voice is so loud, I pause. I repeat that endless external prize, like social media likes, for example, does not determine my success. Catching and holding these self-critical thought spirals help me maintain my confidence. So let's start by defining what exactly is the inner critic. Well, it's that voice inside your head that judges you, that puts you down, and critiques every move and every step you make. Like, that was so stupid. Why did you say that? Or you are not creative enough and your work is terrible. It leaves us feeling deflated, defective, and never quite good enough. And let me share 4 facts about inner critic that you might not know yet. Number 1, your inner critic is not your original thought. It puts pressure on you to be better or even perfect. It reminds you of your mistakes and failures, right? But actually, these thoughts are usually based on something that somebody else once said to you, about you, or in front of you. So these are not your thoughts. Somebody else inserted that into your head, and your brain has internalized other people's words and kept them as a truth. Number 2, it's not true. Your inner critic voices thoughts are not based on any truth, but because these thoughts are embedded and well rehearsed in your head, you don't question them, right? And you consider them as truth. Am I right? And number 3, your inner critic is never going to switch off. So accept it. You need to befriend your inner critic. You need to know it really well and understand where it is coming from, what it is saying to you, and why it is said the right now. And then you can learn and choose how to respond to it. Number 4, you will get cycles. Because one negative thought leads to another, because it affects your emotions and actions. And in my previous workshop, I shared how these 3 things are interrelated. So pay attention to the voice this critic is talking to you to. Is it your granny, your eldest sister, or your elementary school teacher? Huh? So this critic develops in our childhood to monitor our behavior in hopes of getting love, approval, or validation. It tries to motivate and protect you by pointing out your mistakes and weaknesses. But there's a problem. It often goes too far and leads to constant self-judgment and anxiety. So how do you know if your inner critic is strong and active? There are some clear signs like this. You hesitate frequently or doubt your abilities. That's number 1. You feel that you rarely meet your own standards or expectations. And I see that a lot in my clients. Then, little things can trigger strong emotional reactions. Familiar. You compare yourself to others all the time. And the last one, the cherry on top, perfectionism. You redo tasks endlessly to perfect them, to polish them. So, and let me give you some examples about that. Say you launched a new product, and when your new marketing campaign doesn't immediately get traction online, the critic might pop up saying, "Wow, I am so terrible in figuring out what people can resonate to," or "I'll never attract my ideal customers." But realistically, any business owner knows that marketing takes continual testing and optimizing before it hits the mark. So failure is part of the process, and failure is part of success. And how about this? Have you ever found yourself in analysis paralysis? Say thank you to your inner critic for this nice experience. We have to tune the critic out to take action sometimes. So this situation analysis paralysis is so common as we solopreneurs take responsibility for every business tasks on our shoulders, right? In many situations, our inner critic can be hugely unrealistic about our skills, capacity, and abilities. And you may wonder, okay, so what can we do about that? Well, the first step is to name it. So when you hear the voice, just label it and name it. This is my inner critic. This is not true. Then think of creating boundaries. Tell the critic, thank you, but no thanks. That's not helping me right now. And get curious. Ask for specifics on why he or she is upset. Often there are no real rational ground. And find the roots. Explore when and why your inner critic first emerged. And again, it's often happened in childhood. And have compassion. Thank the inner critic for trying to protect you. Send yourself words of kindness instead and try to journal. Say, thank you, my dear inner critic, but I will give it a try and I will come back to you and report the progress. You will see the change immediately. And what to do with self-criticism? Well, you need some efforts. And with effort, you can transform self-judgment for your benefit. And here is how to turn your inner critic into your inner coach. When you are in that endless dialogue with your inner critic, just make requests rather than demands. Can you feel the difference? Requests rather than demands. And focus your criticism on specific actions and behaviors and not on self-worth or abilities. And that will make you act and not overthink and dramatize the situation. And check if concern is coming from anxiety rather than reality. Question how likely the scary, ugly outcome is real. And imagine how you would coach a dear friend who struggles with the same issue. And you know what? That's the interesting fact. We are often far kinder to others than to ourselves. So all the things that I mentioned before, they will allow your inner coach to emerge, and it will guide you positively toward your personal growth. The inner critic tries to keep us safe, but often hold us back from realizing our full potential. But when you name it, set boundaries, and find the roots and cultivate self-compassion, you can transform that energy into an inner coach, and that will motivate your improvement. So now let's talk about self-compassion. Self-compassion gives us understanding and reassurance from a kind inner voice that we also have. It may say, like, it makes total sense, you feel this way. But remember, all people struggle sometimes. So it reminds you that you are not alone and that your experience is one of many. And it also give us hope. It's almost like an inner hug. So basically, self-compassion means finding inner comfort and wisdom for ourselves when we need it most. The easiest place to start is to write ourselves encouraging letters, exactly like you would do that for your friends. And here is how. Take 10 minutes to gently write a caring letter to the struggling part of yourself. And do it again, like you would do that for your friend. And you can start by saying, I'm sorry you're feeling so overwhelmed and hard on yourself lately. It's understandable to feel this way because, and continue your writing. Then write supportive, hopeful messages that recognize your emotions are valid and remind yourself of your times you persevered and succeeded, and express confidence that you will get through this again. Write compassionately until you feel better. And you will see it is wonderfully powerful to be your own healthy emotional support system. Give it a try. When your harsh inner critic gets loud, reread what you've just written. Use this letter for that tough situations. Because when you see caring words, it serves you like emotional balm. So today I've talked about how our inner critic can be roadblocks on our way to success. But if you use self-awareness and build self-compassion, you will access confidence and clarity instead. And in week number 4 of my Goal Crusher video course, we are talking about doubts, inner critic, imposter syndrome, and other limitations and how to overcome them and deal with them so you can get your confidence back. I created the Goal Crusher course after I realized that managing my inner critic was key to reaching my next level. And this is an online program where through 6 core modules, I take everything we covered today way deeper into step-by-step training. And most importantly, mindset shifts will happen. The course will help you to uncover your deepest motivation, crystallize your vision, create step-by-step plans. You also will work through self-doubts, and the course will help to transform your inner critic into your best ally. And just picture yourself in 6 weeks. You will have a clear, exciting vision, a roadmap with progress, an unstoppable mindset, and confidence. This is what I want to ignite for you. And for a limited time only, you can enroll at 50% off, just $497 versus the full $997 price. And spots are limited because I can only devote focused time for a really small group. So if you're ready to say yes to growth, to meaningful milestones and confidence, well, comment I'm in and claim your seat. And I will be in touch with you right away to get you sign up. My next laser-focused event will be next Monday, don't miss it, and I will talk about resilience and how to stay on track. So join me on Monday, December 18th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for being today with me. Happy Friday. Bye-bye.